Given the positives and negatives that we see in the film, would you, if you had this DNA, drink blood or abstain?
I mean, I think this is one of the really tough questions because, drinking blood in this film, it kind of sates you. It makes you satisfied. It makes you sexier. It makes you, technically you're able to, it gives you lots of strength. So that's such an appealing, uh, an appealing idea. And yet I think the destruction and the terror and the violence that comes as as a consequence of it, I hope I'd be strong enough to resist.
I hope so too. But seeing Will with that like flowing hair, I don't know. I might choose. Hey everyone, it's David Stark from Watcher Pass, and I'm talking to Euroslyn about The Radleys, which is coming to theaters, digital, and on demand on October 4th, 2024. I'm going to talk to him right now. And while you're watching, if you can like and subscribe to this channel, that would be fantastic. I'll start a lot. Thank you. All right, so thanks so much for joining me today. I've got Euroslyn talking about The Radleys, which is coming to theaters, digital, and on demand on October 4th, 2024. It is a family drama about a family of vampires. They're trying to suppress their urges. It has a really great cast, as you imagine, some drama, and then some practical effects and blood as maybe their plans don't go as they thought. But I really enjoy it. It was a very kind of unique film, so I'm very excited to talk to you, and thanks so much for joining me.
Yes, pleasure to be here.
Of course. So, how'd you find this script? How did this kind of come across your desk?
Well, it's based on a novel by a writer called Matt Haig, and he's really interested in writing about mental health issues and about addiction. So I was really excited to read the script of his novel because it kind of uses the vampire genre to go and explore some really interesting themes about what it's like if you're born with this compulsion, this need to consume blood, which is deeply antisocial with some terrible consequences. How do you cope with that? So it's really interesting to make a film that explores those themes.
Yeah, no, for sure. I loved is like this is a vampire movie, but like you're right. Like the addiction, the compulsion, the like suppressing of that is really kind of the main thrust of it. There are definitely vampire moments, but it is almost a family drama first with this other thing that happens to them occasionally.
Yeah, and we've got Damian Lewis playing twin brothers, Peter, who's the good brother, and Will, the bad brother. And they've both been born with this same DNA that makes them into vampires, but one of them has made certain choices in life to kind of contain his wilder desires in order to kind of keep, he wants to live in suburbia. He's got a family, he's got a job, he wants to kind of keep all those things down and not get hounded. The other one, Will, he's decided to cross over to the dark side and drinks blood like there's no tomorrow. So when the two come together, we've got a really interesting exploration of the choices we all make in life when we're faced with what our heart desires coming into conflict with what society says is right.
Yeah, and maybe which brother you're drawn to might say something about you as well. Because there were moments where I was like, "Damn, Will seems to be like the more fun one." So, you know, you never know. Was it always the plan to have Damian Lewis play both of them? Because I love that. I love seeing when Will show up, you're like, "Oh wait, that looks very similar."
In the novel, they're not twins, so that was a change that we made for the film script. But we were interested in really looking at this thing that if two people exactly the same, they're exactly the same making, the DNA is the same. What happens when they both make very different choices in life? But we've also got an amazing with the amazing Kelly Macdonald playing Helen, who's the mum in the family, and people recognize her from No Country for Old Men and Train Spotting and a huge line of amazing movies, and everybody knows that she's amazing at the emotional intensity, but one of the things she gets to show off in this film is her comedy chops, because it's a dark comedy about what it's like to be in suburbia in Britain, trying to keep up with the people next door, and she does that with a real sense of she's really funny. She's such a funny actor.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's not like laugh out loud moments, but there is some like dry, like situational comedy throughout that I really enjoyed. Now, was having Damien play both characters that made it difficult to film? I was wondering if this is like, hey, it's an indie film. You only have so much budget. If you can get one actor to play two characters, that's all the better, right? But
Well, I'd say it's the opposite. If you've got one actor playing two characters, it's like double the amount of prep time for each scene. Because you shoot one half of the scene, then he has to go off to costume and makeup to get this transformation, and then you kind of hang around for him to come back. But I think he's such a mercurial character and a mercurial actor, Damian, and he's in some ways he's the nicest man in the world, and then in other ways Damian's got a real sense of mischief and wildness about him, and I think both those qualities in him he's brought to the screen in these roles, and it's really entertaining to watch one person play two very different parts.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. And one other thing I loved about this film is, practical effects. It's a vampire film. There's going to be some blood. There's going to be some gore. I love that you stayed on the practical side. Was that always, the choice? Was that always what you were aiming for to have, actual, well, not actual, but like practical looking blood versus VR and things, or versus CG and things like that?
Yeah, as ever, there's a lot of trickery and a lot of behind the scenes magic that goes on, but lots of our effects are practical. The vampire films that I love, I went back and rewatched Nosferatu or some of From Dusk to Dawn, and some of the classic vampire movies, and kind of realized that sometimes the old tricks are the best ones, and hopefully we've been able to play some of those in this movie.
Yeah, for sure. Now, I know we have limited time. I know you have a very busy day, so I'm going to switch to just a lightning round, just lightweight questions about the film. I want to hear your personal experiences mapped to things in the movie. Feel free to skip any of them. I won't be offended, but I try to keep them very answerable. First
Sure.
question. When was the last time you had some sort of blood-based food? Blood sausage, blood pudding, anything like that?
Does a normal sausage count? Because I had one of those yesterday, so
I,
it
I
was.
think it has to be a blood sausage. I know that I guess it's a little different.
Okay. So that this is months and months ago. I try not to eat too much red meat. I'm trying to abstain myself. Yeah.
All right, good. Stay healthy. The next question is also about red meat. How do you take your steaks? Rare, medium?
I like a rare steak, but again, I
All
try and
right.
I try not have it too often.
So you crave it, but you're trying to abstain. You're trying to, be good.
Exactly. Like, there's a lot of my life in this film. Yeah.
Have you ever had like a crazy neighbor?
Yes, I
Uh,
have.
I guess there's a lot of your life in this film.
Uh,
All right,
yeah, for sure.
yeah, we won't go into it. And hopefully, it ended okay. It ended better than the one in this film. Um, and the last question: given the positives and negatives that we see in the film, would you, if you had this DNA, drink blood or abstain?
I mean, I think this is one of the really tough questions because, drinking blood in this film, it kind of sates you. It makes you satisfied. It makes you sexier. It makes you, technically you're able to, it gives you lots of strength. So that's such uh, an appealing idea. And yet I think the destruction and the terror and the violence that comes as a consequence of it, I hope I'd be strong enough to resist.
I hope so too. But seeing Will with that like flowing hair, I don't know. I might choose. It would be nice. It would be nice to have that back.
Vampires have more fun, right?
They do, they do. So the film is coming to theaters digital and on demand on October 4th, 2024. You're out promoting it, getting the word out. But after people see the Radleys, do you have any other projects they can look forward to from you?
I'm making a TV show at the moment called Wayward for Netflix, which is a kind of comedy horror thriller. So that will hopefully be out next year sometime.
All right, awesome. So you can wait for that. But first, check out the Radleys coming to theaters digital on demand October 4th, 2024, just in time for Halloween, just in time for the spooky season. This is Eros Lynn, the director. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, David.
Awesome. Thank you so much. This was fun. That was Euros Lynn talking about The Radleys, which is coming to theaters, digital, and on demand on October 4th, 2024. It is a vampire movie, but it is an interesting one. It is about a vampire family that is trying not to give in to their urges. So there is plenty of drama, some coming of age moments, and then a lot of blood and practical effects. So if anything, you should check it out. And if you like this interview, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps me out a lot. Make sure all my new content goes straight to you. Thank you.